Discover your inner goddess and live up to your highest value and most abundant potential. Welcome to Grateful Goddesses, a podcast that empowers you to unleash your inner goddess and take the leap of faith to live your best life. Your guide, Karen Pulver, joins her fellow goddesses in soulful conversations about gratitude, personal growth, authentic living, and a bevy of topics affecting women today. Let's start the show with your host, Karen Pulver.
Welcome everyone to Grateful Goddesses. I'm wearing red today, and I'm wearing this beautiful dress by Sylwia Designs because today we're going to be meeting Sylwia, who is a goddess of fashion. And she designs very clean, very structured type clothes, but she also designs floral, feminine pieces. And what I love about her designs is that I feel confident, I feel beautiful, I feel sexy when I wear them. And we're going to talk not just about the outside, but also the inside out, because wearing something like this does make you feel very glamorous and sexy, but also it's tapping into that inner fashionable goddess inside that's going to help you feel confident, put your shoulders back, feel assertive. And that is something that we're going to tap into today with our guest. Our guest today is designer Sylwia Wilczynska. She started in the fashion world by teaching herself step by step the craftsmanship of designing and tailoring. First, through her childhood, she would dream, diving into her parents' closet, then opening her creative wings, attending art school, to carving it later into a career. Thanks to the meticulous attention to detail, authenticity, dedication, and pure love for her work, she opened her first studio. Shortly after that, her rapidly growing clientele allowed her to open a boutique here in Chicago in Lincoln Park. She also designed for Sylvia James LLC label in Miami for a couple of years. Her work was featured in multiple runway shows, TV shows, and fashion magazines. So I would like to welcome Sylwia to the show. Welcome, Sylwia.
Nice
Hello.
To see you. Thank you for having me.
See you. So I want to show a picture to our guests. This is a picture of when I first met Sylwia. I was in this red dress that
Yes, it is.
Yeah, and this was for a charity fashion show that you had put on. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, it's that charity show. Oh, I love these photos. Was put for a very specific reason. The name of it was called "We Care, We Share," and the idea was to bring attention, first of all, to domestic abuse. And to hopefully help a couple of organizations in Chicago. And I have to say it was extremely difficult to pick them because there are many. And the reason why I put this with fashion show, just because it's such a big clash. When you think about fashion, you think glamour, you think beauty. And there is absolutely nothing beautiful about domestic abuse, especially child abuse. And I felt like this was a perfect idea to bring it and talk about it.
To bring it to the forefront, yes. And was this something that you had experienced? I know it's a difficult conversation, but it is important for the viewers and listeners to hear.
It is something that I have experienced as a child, and it is something that people don't realize, but it happens in more than 50% of homes just in America. I checked statistics this morning just to be correct about this. More than 3 children are dying in US daily from domestic abuse. It's terrifying. It's terrifying that this is a bigger pandemic than any COVID, any racial, any, I can't even name it.
Well, you mentioned COVID, and because especially at first when we had to settle in place and stay in our homes, I'm sure that definitely affected families and children and women who were being abused.
It's terrifying. I have a couple of clients that work in the field, and they're psychologists, neurologists. They work with a lot of children, and domestic violence went up tremendously, and it's 8 times as more difficult for children, 8 times more. It's happening 8 times more, and children unfortunately have no exit There are no schools, there are no plays, there are no playgrounds that are allowed, and they are locked up in the house. And as an adult, we have a choice. As a child, we do not.
Exactly. I remember that night, I felt very glamorous in that red dress that you actually took my measurements, and it was made for my body, which it just fit like a glove. It was comfortable. It was fun. I would never have an opportunity to wear a dress like that. You know, I'm not going to an Oscar night or something like that. So it just felt so great. But after that, I kind of serendipitously met you again because I needed a dress for a wedding. And I saw on Instagram other people posting dresses by you. And I said, oh my gosh, I modeled for her at a charity function. So I contacted you. And of course you said, yes, come to my new store. And I said I needed this dress for a wedding. And it was kind of ironic because several other women were also getting dresses for that same wedding, which was really funny. So you made this dress, which I actually didn't think that I wanted red, but you said, you know, you looked great in the red dress before, and let's do red. It's different, it's bright, it's bold, and you really encouraged me to pick this color, which I just felt great in. I'm wearing my red glasses today too.
I absolutely love the combo. You look beautiful in it.
Thank you. But what I loved about coming to you was that I really felt like you care more about just in connection with making and designing beautiful pieces. You really get to know your clients, and you really get a feel for what it is that they feel comfortable in. You push a little bit, you know, to try a color or a style. And I love that about you. So I want to talk now though about your journey, because you did talk about, yes, you came here from Poland, and you did suffer some domestic abuse while you were younger. Did this continue on when you moved here? Did you have, tell us more just about your journey from where you grew up.
So I was born in 1977, which if you go into the history, and yes, I'm admitting my age, if you go into the history, that's absolutely a complete communism in Poland. At that time, there was not much of a fashion happening, or it wasn't even available in stores. If you get first pair of jeans when in 7th grade, it seems surreal, but that's exactly what was happening. And we were not rich. We were just normal, average family living in communism, having portion cards for meat, sugar, chocolate, everything. Mm-hmm. So people don't even realize sometimes how difficult it is when you're born in it. And it's not even a complaint I'm suggesting here. It's just a different way that I was exposed to of living, and something that I understand very deeply. And it's quite interesting how it shaped me in my work right now.
Tell us about that.
The reason why I really started making clothes was because I hated hand-me-downs from my sister. I'm the second child, second daughter, not a son. I'm one of 4. So unfortunately, I was getting all the dresses from my sister, and I'm a rebel deep in my spirit, and I didn't like it. I wanted something new and of my own. And that time when I started making my clothes, I chopped up my mom's probably, now when I think about this, a tablecloth. It was a deep gray fabric with polka dot in it. And I just made a pleated skirt. And I'm wearing exactly the same style skirt today just to honor it. Not in polka dot, right, but I'm wearing it. And I didn't even know how to sew. I made it by hand because my mom was afraid that I'm going to break the precious sewing machine that was so difficult to buy, and they had to stand in lines for it. And that was my first item I made. And after that, my mom's and dad's closet was something I was playing on daily basis in.
So I remember hearing something that you would wear your sister's jeans and they were like rock hard, but you wore them all the time and they were big on you. And I can't imagine as a 7th grader, being in that position where you're wearing hand-me-downs, and then you changed your own destiny. You decided to make your own clothing, and out of that feeling inside that you knew you could do it. What was it that you feel that you tapped into that led you to go in that direction?
First of all, as a child, I always thought that there are no impossible things. And there were times in life that I lost it for a little bit. And every time I catch myself in a difficult situation, I try to remember that and I try to bring it back, because there is nothing as strong as children's imagination for impossible things. And I don't want to lose it, just as Van Gogh said, that we're pure as children, and when we're free of anything that shaped us as adults, and we can think freely and paint freely. I think the same way about children. We're born as a pure, innocent, slightly obviously naive, but just beautiful human beings. And then we get shaped by different things that happen in life. And I went to art school for my high school. It was a high school with major. And that started, I believe, my journey. Even though I was the rebel at home making clothes, I wanted to paint. I wanted to express myself. That was my exit for expressing everything that was happening in my life. I mean, if you're raised in a difficult home, you don't have a allowance of expressing yourself. Mm-hmm. So painting and sculpting was my way, and it continued. And right after school, I was basically dropped in U.S. My mom decided that I'm coming here. It was a shock. It was a surprise. I was supposed to go to Germany, and I was thinking about going there to university. I took German in school after the Russian that communism pushed us to. Mm-hmm. And it was a shocker. It was a shocker. I didn't speak the language. I didn't know what to do. It was quite difficult. I was 19 and I was dropped here, and I had to find myself. So as a regular immigrant, you start anywhere. You go through cleaning, babysitting, later bartending, and then I got into modeling.
Well, you're beautiful. Yes, of course. It's not surprising. Mm-hmm.
But that was the time when I decided that maybe the clothes I'm making could be something more than just clothes for myself and my friends. And I remember, like today, working in an Armani show, and I was standing backstage getting ready, and I looked at the clothes, and I looked at the whole setup backstage, and I said, and I was very ignorant at the time. I said, I can do this. I didn't know how much work it takes. Now I do. But at the time, that was the idea that was born. And I decided to continue with it.
That's
and
amazing.
Here I am today.
And here you are today. I wanted now to invite our featured goddesses, Michelle and Dina, to join us in this discussion. Hi, guys.
Hello, ladies.
So I know, Dina, you're wearing your puffy sleeves. Lift up your arms. She's into puffy sleeves.
Love it.
Raw edge. I love.
And Michelle, you look very pretty in white cream.
You match, Sylvia.
You do match. So they have some questions for you as well, Sylvia. We're going to start with Michelle.
So thank you. Sylvia, I was wondering, you talk about your journey and basically how you've had to adapt. And so now, given that it's, the time of COVID, I'm wondering if your fashion sense or if your design aesthetic has changed at all given the new circumstances in the world.
That's quite interesting, because I listen to a lot of designers all over the world, how they feel about the situation. And I think all of us are seeing a huge switch. Not a lot of events are happening. So fitted, tailored suits and dresses are not a necessity right now. So I call it luxurious comfort. I believe that comfortable, I guess sweatpants is a bad word to use for it, but sweatpants made out of cashmere, let's say, would be a new thing. And maybe jackets made out of pashminas and cashmeres and comfy fabrics. So I think that's where the fashion is going to go for the next year or two, depending on how fast we will be getting out of COVID. But I'm hoping the fitted dresses are coming back.
Well, that is true. We're not going anywhere. But I do have to say, when I put on this dress this morning, it did lift my spirits. So it is fun to maybe put on your own fashion show, at home.
That's
and put on that dress.
That's exactly what's happening right now. I had to buy equipment because we're all locked up through COVID and unfortunately through rioting in Chicago. We have to stay smart as business owners, and that puts us at certain disadvantage with work, and it's hard. We survived COVID, and I actually survived COVID making a lot of masks because people were asking for help with masks. Oh, I see one. Thank you. Mm-hmm. And that was something that kept us busy because obviously we couldn't get masks for a while. So that was my way of giving back and donating to community. But at the same time, I feel like it's a huge switch that is going to happen, and our fashion shows are not happening right now physically. They're going to happen virtually. All the trade shows got canceled and they're all virtual. So I got a lot of equipment for filming my models right now and probably doing a virtual fashion show.
Dina, how about you?
Hi, Sylwia. I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit about what inspires you per collection, if you revert back to your favorite designers, and if so, who might they be, and just sort of give us a little bit of how the process goes for you.
So it's quite interesting because I think anything and everything can inspire us as artists, because I consider myself an artist in my design world. And when you think about this, it could be a color, it could be a fabric, it could be something in nature. This I just filmed a little virtual fashion show for the Women's Service Club in Chicago, and we were allowed to show only 4 pieces, which is quite little for a collection. But because we are so oppressed and locked down by COVID and by everything that is happening, I decided to make it fresh, and I decided to bring flowers and soft fabrics and just give some happiness to women, because the truth is we do like to dress up. We do like to feel feminine. And I think all of us are missing this. So right now I think about femininity. Of course, I have to think about comfort because we are still on the lockdown. And that would be the inspiration. It depends on our happenings around us.
Great. I love what's behind you too.
That's one of the pieces from the show.
Super pretty.
Beautiful.
So it's lilac, and it's soft tulle.
Looks very wearable.
Thank you.
Sylwia, you mentioned...
I have a dinner party for myself.
I know. We have to have a dinner party and just get dressed up, because
I agree.
I think it changes your whole psyche a little bit. Like just putting something on and not, you say sweatpants, but maybe if those sweatpants are a little softer or a little more fashionable, it might change even how we feel inside about ourselves. I got into the habit of wearing the same sweatpants every single day for a little while with holes, and they were falling off, and it just really, I had to switch it up, because I think it definitely changes how you feel inside if you change a little bit of what you're wearing outside.
Absolutely. I feel our clothes dictate how we feel, and also how we carry ourselves. Think about that small high heel. If you put the high heels on, you stand up and you stand proudly, and you feel differently when you put the lipstick on. It's a completely different story. Life is much happier then.
I actually put some darker lipstick on today.
Me too.
Yeah, it's fun to dress up. I know when I was younger, I used to dress up, and actually I brought along the little purse that I would use. This was from my grandmother, and it's a real purse that she would use. It's all tattered, but it's vintage. I mean, it's
beautiful.
It is beautiful. I know, and I used to play with it, but now I have it, and I'm like gonna, when I can go out again, I think I'm going to take it with me as a real, accessory to use. You did talk about, obviously, COVID, and you did mention looting. I know that you are now in a new location. You had to board up twice. So those are real roadblocks. Those would be, something that might stop people from continuing on, but you have that fighter spirit in you to keep going. Can you talk about that?
I think maybe my childhood shaped me the way I am. I am as stubborn as it gets, as my family say, and my friends say I'm as hard as a box of nails, which is hysterical. But this is my journey. This is my art. This is something I worked very hard for, and I feel like I would like to save it. I would like to cure it. I would like to keep it there for future. And it's hard. COVID made it extremely difficult because we couldn't work with our clients. And now rioting, yes, we boarded up twice. We actually packed the store twice and unpacked it twice. And none of it was easy. And just a couple of days ago, I felt sorry for myself after tornado hit Chicago. And I said, what else? And I joke about this. I shouldn't say what else because I feel like something else is going to happen. But it wasn't an easy journey. But I think the stubbornness in me and all that we had to go through and me pushing through it, it came through my childhood. It came because I had to fight for specific things. I have to fight as a child for myself. I have to fight as an immigrant, basically surviving here. I had to learn and I had to be resilient. And I think somehow this is still in me. And maybe it's that inner child saying that nothing is impossible. There are only roadblocks we have to go through. And I try to remind it myself every day when I feel sorry for myself, when there is something happening that's only temporary. It's always bad, so we can get the good after. I guess it's the typical rainbow.
No, but that is what applies to almost every aspect of our lives, right, guys? Do you agree?
Absolutely.
Do you have any other questions specific to Sylwia, what she does, and any questions you'd like to add, Michelle?
No, I'm just thinking about your resilience, Sylwia, and I can very much relate. And I think, you're talking about how your clothes dictate your feelings. And I think for a lot of people, they let their mood dictate what they wear. But I've also learned recently, especially, that if I'm not feeling great, those are the days sometimes that I want to dress up because I know.
Absolutely. I feel through my designs, I always describe them as feminine but powerful. Powerful, not in the way of being tyrannic, in no mean at all, but powerful because we have so many things we have to go through life as women, as mothers, as just any troubles in life. And I think making clothes that make us feel powerful is so, it is empowering to women, but it's also very, it's fun to me. And I think it brings it back to maybe when I was a child and I didn't feel powerful because I couldn't. Now I feel like my clothes, the tailored pieces, I want the woman to walk into the room and I want all eyes on her. And yes, I'm pushy with color, Karen, because I thought you would be looking great in that red and you would be extremely visible in it. And that's the point. I had a client coming in once to me and her husband was on some high position in corporate world. And he was giving a speech and he was one of the most important people that evening in that during that event. And she was obviously the second most important person because she was his wife, so she would be standing next to him. She needed a gown, and she said to me, I would like something maybe in brown or gray because I don't want to be very visible. And it was tragic. And I was thinking, why? Why? You're the second most important person there. You should be absolutely glowing and being visible. And you wouldn't believe, but I put her in hot pink. And she wore hot pink lipstick with it, which was a shocker. And she called me next week and she said, thank you so much. She felt good. She stood proudly next to her husband. And the funny thing to it, her husband liked it very much as well, to the point that she's my client till now and appreciates the reaction of the husband when she wears my dresses.
That's a great story. And the reality is she probably was the most important person because she supported her husband to get where he was.
Exactly. She was standing right next to him and she wanted to disappear. I think the clothes, people might think that someone is snobby, or I'm not exactly sure how to describe it, when they stand proudly. But there is something about standing proudly and hopefully in a beautiful dress or beautiful suit as we wear, as women we wear. But even reading, I'm not sure if you like Dr. Jordan Peterson. He's a Canadian, but he's got his 12 rules for life. And I believe the second rule is stand up straight and put your shoulders back. And what does it mean? Exactly. And what does it mean? It doesn't mean to just stand up straight to intimidate people, but it means stand up straight and be assertive. Be there. Be proud of yourself and bring something to the world and speak up and show it and don't hide. There are so many places that people hide, and I don't think we should be. And I'm very grateful I can be here today and talk with you goddesses, because you're not hiding, because you're talking. And I listened to previous episodes, and it's just amazing how much kindness and care and power is in those episodes that you had before.
Well, thank you. I think the biggest part that I'm hearing today is also about support. And we talk about helping each other to be supportive and not putting each other down. And sometimes I notice this too. I have girls, and when they were younger and they would wear, I'd buy them something, that they'd feel really good in, or that they really wanted to get, and they'd wear it and they'd feel so proud, but they would be put down. Oh, you're wearing that. There's always that aspect of it. And maybe it was jealousy, or maybe it was, I'm not sure, but it is really not, is of course what you put on, but it's really strengthening that inner confidence and that assertiveness, right? But the garment will help to bring that out.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I say as a one of the accessories, it should be the biggest smile on our faces. Whenever my clients are insecure, I say, you know what? Everybody's going to love it. Just walk in, put a big smile on your face, and everyone will think that you're dressed the way it's supposed to be. Even if you would be wearing 2 different shoes, just keep the smile on.
Right.
And that's the best accessory to a dress.
Dina, I know you wanted to add.
I was just going to add to yours, Karen, raising 2 daughters also with, they both have different style. I mean, they share some things they love, but I remember my mom could not stand the trend of like the ripped jeans that we would have. Or in my teens, it was thrifting for Levi's, that you would either cut off into shorts or you would peg the bottoms or something. And the idea that I was buying these thrift store Levi's that somebody else had worn just made her crazy. And my eldest daughter loves thrifting now, and she buys these t-shirts and all these things. And I hold my breath, because I don't want to judge it. I want her to have her own style, be a part of these trends that I'm too old to have. And it just brings me back to that place of like letting my girls find their look, their style, their, way. And it's important, I think.
I think all of us are going through different changes from the time when we were very young, and as you described your daughters as teenagers. I believe we have to give them the freedom of expressing, and I know it might be difficult. I absolutely have a thing about extremely short shorts. I do feel as women, and yes, I'm older right now, so I probably can say it, and it might sound like I'm preaching, but I believe as women, there are specific things that we don't necessarily have to advertise publicly. Yes, youth is beautiful, but I also think it comes from maybe teenagers being slightly lost, slightly discovering themselves. So as a parent, I'm not a parent yet. I have 2 little nieces, and one of them is 14 right now. And this is the age when the short shorts with sticking out underneath pockets come out. And this is one of the trends that I absolutely do not like. But it's because it's also backed up with worry. Unfortunately, we live in the world where there are things happening around. There are kidnappings, there's human trafficking, there is all of that has to be addressed. And I think that's the reason why I really don't care for that style. But I think otherwise, the thrifting, I went through that stage when I was in art school, and we couldn't afford regular jeans. So yes, the thrift stores came up, and I had my first pair of Wranglers with wool sweater, and I had long hair and lemon glasses, and I was painting it. So it's quite interesting to hear that now. But I completely understand it, and I feel like they do need that freedom. And I'm sure they will come up with something that we didn't even think about in our closets as a garment choice.
So Dina, my daughters are a little older, and oftentimes, Sylwia, what they say to me is I'll put something on and they'll say, you're too old for that.
Oh.
So can we talk a little bit about ageism and fashion? Because who is to say you're too old for that? Obviously, short shorts, I'm not really interested in wearing, but, super short shorts, but why not put on, something that a younger woman might wear? Like, so what do you have to say about that? And
like
as well, what's that?
Like a crop top? What do you mean?
Oh, what do I mean? Well, let me think about it.
That's very in right now, these crop tops. I mean.
Yeah, no, I would not feel comfortable wearing a crop top necessarily. Dina, sometimes we share some summer dresses, some short, not super short, but frilly summer dresses that I'll put one on, and they'll say, no, that you're too old for that, or a jean skirt, something like that. Or they'll say, oh, I want that. They'll take it for themselves because
that's the highest compliment.
It's more to, it goes in connection with, Sylwia, you talked about feeling sexy, but not having to show skin. Like, the woman's body and curves. Like, I feel very sexy in this dress today because it's form-fitting, but it's not short. It's actually just above my knee, but I feel like it hugs me in all the right places, and it's angular, the neckline, but it's not showing cleavage. So those are just, two little things I'd like to discuss with you about ageism and also feeling sexy, but not showing skin.
Absolutely. I do feel that as women, is it can anyone really say to us, oh, you're too old or too young or to wear this? Really not. We're living in the Instagram and Facebook times where all women want to feel the way they feel. Some of us feel much younger and some of us feel much older. My sister calls me a can because I'm so conservative with my clothes, which is ridiculous. But I think if you're not offensive in your way of dressing, and if you're comfortable and it makes you happy, just go for it. There's nothing wrong with it. And the way, when I mean offensive if you're going to a restaurant and showing particular body parts that really shouldn't be shown publicly, or if you're flying and you're basically half naked, maybe that's not the most appropriate thing. And it happens. All of us know it happens.
Right.
But my style would be something like you're wearing. It's usually more of a pencil skirt or pencil fitted dress or a suit. I believe that as women, especially when we mature, we have that wisdom, and the wisdom is the most sexy thing on a woman. And we do not have to advertise our body parts and show them on display. I think wearing a tailored but very strong piece, it just shows our attitude, our assertiveness, our femininity at the same time. I found out it is slightly intimidating to men, surprisingly, but it's also it's also very mature and very, very sexy to me to show wisdom instead of just skin. So my pieces would be tailored and, like you said, angular necklines, but not necessarily showing cleavage. Maybe fitted style dress. I would rather put a turtleneck dress with open back and past the knee, and I would think that's way sexier than a mini skirt or a very low open top. It's just the way I think. I look back at TCM black and white movies, and the way men and women used to speak to each other and the way they would dress was so classy and so feminine. And at the same time, extremely sexy. But I think it depends who finds how people describe sex appeal.
I almost wish sometimes that the white gloves would come back.
I would love that.
Yeah, I mean, look, for sanitary reasons, they might, because, will help with that. So Michelle, future goddess Michelle, who's joining us today, I feel that she has got incredible style. She pushes me, we know each other, and she pushes me to always, when we go shopping together, she's like, stop getting that same black top.
Sorry.
So I do want to ask our future goddesses as well. I guess I'm putting them on the spot. But what do you feel your style is, Dina and Michelle? Michelle, you go first.
So I was going to, Sylwia, you reminded me, you were talking about being sexy without being overtly sexy. And I really think wisdom is definitely part of it. And I know for me, I feel sensual, and it's what comes within. It doesn't have to be, a super low cut neckline, although I do think that's very sexy. But I think it's how we feel about ourselves. And
I agree.
Yeah. And I love kicking it up. And I love, even sometimes I wear baggy things and I can feel super sexy in them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But Michelle, you often push. Today you're wearing something very conservative, but I have seen her put a little edge on something. Like she'll wear maybe jeans and a white t-shirt and then an amazing jacket. Right?
So normally if I wear this top, I'll actually undo another button. I'll undo it and I'll wear some fabulous accessories. We haven't talked about accessories, but I do feel like that's one of my strengths. However, since COVID, I feel a little less inclined to wear the amount of jewelry that I was wearing. I've pared it down a lot since then, but I think it's about being polished for me and having a complete look. And yes, it's true. I suppose I am more conservative today, but I do think it's an inner feeling for me as well. Yeah.
Dina, how about you?
Well, I wanted to sort of piggyback with Michelle a little bit and Sylwia on women. And I'm sure, Sylwia, this is where you being front and center in your store and your clients is so helpful to have a designer there for you. I find that if women find what is most flattering on them, like you said, you wear a pencil skirt a lot, that's sort of your wheelhouse. I'm fascinated with whatever body type you have. I've seen women look beautiful in all sizes and shapes, and to the point of when they wear that too short mini skirt and their blouse open and hanging out, I think it's just, again, a denial or a unfortunate not knowing what to put on to look best.
I don't wear that. I don't do that.
Yeah, but I think that's a really big struggle. When I was doing a little styling on the side, I found that was the thing that women struggled the most with. And when we would put them in things, more casual wear, not necessarily gowns, they were like, I never would have tried that. I never would have thought that would have looked good on me, and it looked, beautiful. And I find that I struggle with it with myself too, as we age and bodies change and shift. So I'm fascinated by that, and hopefully more women become empowered in finding out what looks best on them, casual or dressy. I think that's just a piece I wish more women thought about, for their own well-being. My style, I don't know, I guess I tend to find myself in sort of the classic with a little bit of feminine in me. I tend to buy things and keep them for a while. I'll buy that great cashmere sweater and it'll be black and I'll wear it season after season after season. I don't get super, super crazy. I was dying last fall to get like a sequin jacket just to throw on with like jeans.
Sylwia makes a beautiful sequin jacket.
I wanted I didn't even know what I wanted it to be. I didn't really want like a long blazery style, and I didn't do it, but it was something I wanted to do. So I think I'm on the conservative, feminine, classic side, I think.
You'll have to check out Sylwia's sequin jacket.
I will. Maybe this fall will be the time.
Yes. That we have for a Zoom call, right? Just to add some glamour to your Zoom calls.
Yeah.
So we talk about our style. I really am all over the place with my style. And like I said, when I go shopping with Michelle, I always go back to the safe, right? The safe, like what is safe for me? The black, the white, the gray, the blue, the jeans. And well, I'm a preschool teacher, so I wear, not sweatpants, but like workout gear in hopes that after I work in the day, I'll go and work out. And I notice a lot of women wearing workout gear all day. But I did love when I met Sylwia that she did encourage me to get this dress, and I got a few other pieces. Not a sequin jacket yet, but I did get a gold blazer. And then she designed a beautiful black shimmery type jacket and pants, and I just love wearing her pieces. So
if you ever would like a sequin jacket that we do not have in specific color or specific style, we can also make it, because we do a lot of custom design. So that's absolutely open to, yes. It depends if you're looking for black, red, or lime green. We can have it all.
Great. Okay. I'm excited.
Yes.
I have a question. So Sylwia, I've only met you a couple times, and you always look stunning and fabulous as you do now.
Thank you.
My question is, certainly given COVID or even before COVID, are there days where you're in sweats or you don't get dressed up, or does this just make you happy to be so put together?
Let me think. I have very few days in sweats. I still am pretty conservative on that. My sweats are for my workout or walking the dog. I do like to dress up. I think when we dress up, clean up, I might not be putting the lipstick on, but I don't think there is a day without a mascara. I just feel better. I feel more aesthetic when I'm dressed. And if I do put sweats, that could be maybe with some pretty shoe, or maybe sweats on a luxurious finish, and maybe a jacket with it, just to spice it up a little bit. Once I was told that I'm the most stylish person walking the dog at the doggy beach. And I said, how's that possible? I'm wearing sweats. But I guess my hat and my accessories were slightly different. So I don't have a lot of sweatpants days. And the reason why is I try not to, because I know it changes my mood. It just changes everything. And it changes if I stand up straight or not.
I know Dr. Edith Eger, who's been a featured speaker, who is a friend and mentor of mine. She always tells me to dress up and be polished and look great and never wear holes in your pants or this and that, because she says that you never know who you're going to meet. And so,
I totally agree with that. Yes. I was raised the way that if you would go to the store to pick up milk, because we used to pick up milk on a daily basis in those tall glass bottles, which was quite interesting, you would dress up. You would dress up just to go and pick up milk, even though it was only 500 feet away from the house. You never left the house without brushed hair. And it's just the way I was raised. So even my sweatpants, you will think I'm crazy. I fold them with creases. The reason why is I don't necessarily make sweatpants. I buy them. I'm 5'10". A lot of sweatpants might not be necessarily long enough for me. When they are short, and I fold them flat, they stick out sideways, and it looks like I'm going crab fishing. And so I always fold them completely differently, so at least they fall properly on me. That's how crazy my idea is of dressing up and not wearing sweatpants.
We've learned so much from you today, not just about fashion and your designs and your journey, but also just about tapping into our inner, fashionable, resilient goddess, right? And learning about your journey and how even today with COVID and having to board up your store and the tornado, you are prepared though. You have the armor inside as well as outside to take on those challenges. And that I feel is really going to help our listeners and viewers, because there are days, especially now, when we are in our sweats and we're wearing the same clothes every day and we're not brushing our hair, but it's kind of an interesting way of looking at it, that even if you do those little things that on the outside, it can help you feel radiant inside, and then we'll bring out that smile If our viewers and listeners would like to reach out to you to perhaps meet you for a consultation, which I'm assuming now you might be doing on Zoom, is that right?
Yes.
How can they do that?
People can reach me through my website at www.sylwiaw.com or .net. Or they can reach me through email, sylwiadesigns@gmail.com, or phone 773-497-4939. And we do actually take appointments. And yes, we have to wear masks and obviously take all precautions because of COVID. But at the moment, we're doing it by appointments, or you could always reach me through Zoom.
And what is your new store address here in Chicago?
The new store address is 2512 North Halstead. We're located in Lincoln Park, Chicago, just one block north of Fullerton on Halstead.
And remember that Sylwia can make custom designs for you. And Dina, like you said, if there's a sequin jacket you're interested in, she really has such an array of different fabrics, different colors. You know, this dress can be made in almost every color, I remember.
Yes.
But even though you encouraged me to do red, I've seen it in white and in black, which is a perfect classic black dress. So thank you. So let's stand up straight or sit up straight, shoulders back, smile, and enjoy your day. Thank you so much for joining us on Grateful Goddesses.
Up next, favorite things, opening up to happiness and joy.
Welcome everyone to Favorite Things with Sylwia, and we are going to talk about our favorite things, but related to fashion. So I want to start because my new fashion favorite accessory is the Sylwia mask. And I'll tell you why. Okay, first of all, it does not fog up my glasses, which, you know, some of the masks do. It's comfortable, it's washable. And what I love about it, Sylwia, is that I'm not getting the acne, the new mask, how do you say it? Mask acne. Mask acne. Listen, how do you say it, Dina?
I think it's just
acne. Now, I do have medical masks that I'll wear into, like when I walk into a store, for example, but when I'm out running or walking, I will put on your mask because it is definitely, the cotton is definitely feels better on my skin. And what I love about her masks is you buy one and one is free, or you donate the other.
Donated.
So I did buy them for my featured goddesses. Michelle, I'll get one for you too, because you're new. And they're in all different styles, which is on your website as well. Yes, and I love that you took. I love just that you jumped on this and you made masks. You donated them in a time at the beginning when it was very difficult to get masks, and you donated. And I think that's just wonderful. Her masks are great. So that's my new favorite accessory. As much as I don't love wearing a mask, her masks are beautiful and they're actually quite feminine, and they are preventative of the acne that you are getting with wearing masks.
I'm glad you like it, and I'm glad it's comfortable. Initially I didn't want to make the masks. I was afraid that people will think, because everybody was looking for N95 masks, I was really afraid that people will feel like I'm giving them false sense of security. So I did my research and I found out which cottons are the best and the softest, and which cottons cover the most. And I was approached by one of the ladies from Women's Service Club, Sherry Lee Fox, and she says, why don't we just do this program with all Chicago designers and start maybe a buy one, donate one program. And I thought about this and I said, yes, that's a great idea, because a lot of people need it, can't afford it, can't find it. So that's how it started.
And it does have full coverage. It's definitely, because that's what you have to make sure that there's no gaps, and there's no gaps. And you did also show how you can tighten it too on your Instagram. And that's actually where I saw the masks, was on Sherry's Instagram. She's a beautiful model for the masks, and she makes the masks look sexy. Absolutely. Who would have thought? Dina, how about you?
So, Karen wanted me to put these on and be flexible to show you, but I can't do it. So these are my second wedding. So it's bittersweet.
Turn them and describe them to the listeners.
They are a Chanel pump with this gorgeous flower, white flower.
Magnolia.
They are super comfortable, but this was my second wedding. I lost my first husband. So these have great value in the sense that it was a second wedding and it was beautiful. And then I didn't expect to be able to wear them so much, but they are super comfortable. So now I put them on with jeans and leather pants and maybe my sweatpants, but not yet. They were a splurge and they make me really happy and they're beautiful. So
they're beautiful.
I love them.
And it's so cute that you should put them on with your sweatpants. Why not?
I know. I just couldn't get my leg up here to show you. That was more that.
And since it's Chanel, I would suggest red lipstick.
Oh, true. And the secret with the jacket too. I'll be ready to go.
Michelle, what did you bring?
So it's hard to decide sometimes. I have more accessories than I really should have. But I really kept it simple today. And I don't know if you can see the charm on here. I'm not sure if it's...
Yeah, you can describe it.
It's an M for Michelle, obviously. And it's with a few diamonds and a green stone that I can't remember, but green is my absolute favorite color. But more importantly, I became separated about 1.5 years ago after a 28-year marriage. And really organically and almost immediately, I changed my jewelry up and I wanted to redefine myself. And I wanted things with meaning. And for me, just the M on its own meant that I was good on my own. It means it means independence and freedom and all these beautiful things for me. And by the way, my other pendant says, I can and I will. And that speaks to being powerful. And that's what I feel like. And it's simple, but it's so meaningful to me. And
Do you know the designers?
I believe that the M is ELA Designs. She's a local, well, I live in San Diego, so she's in LA. And I want to say this is Zoe. Oh,
you could get back to me with that because that we can put on the website.
Okay, great.
If people are interested. Those are beautiful, Michelle. And I remember that you did that. You changed up your jewelry and became very personal to you. And that's the same with clothing, right, Sylwia? That sometimes when people go through trauma or events in their lives, they change their clothing. I'm sure you've seen that. Absolutely.
I've seen that and I experienced that myself.
Oh, you did? How did you change? If you can share.
And I guess that would go into my favorite thing.
Okay.
But in fashion, I feel white, and it's absolutely my favorite color, and that's why I'm wearing a white blouse. Just white, crispy, pure. White is a new beginning to me. White is a new beginning as a fresh page. White is a new beginning as a fresh canvas. So it speaks to me as a artist. And whenever I make a collection, I start not with black, as most of the people would. I start with white. If you walk into my store, most of the samples are made in white, which is very unpractical, but it's so powerful to me. I feel that as children, we're born white, and I don't mean it as a racial thing. We're born white because we're pure. We're pure and we're just ready to soak in things that shape us. And we sponge, and that's how we get our color. That's how we get our character shaped. That's how certain things in life, good and bad, shape us as a human and as a citizen, as a man, woman. And it's white is a purity, and whenever I feel challenged in any way, whenever I have a hard time, that's the thing I do. I put on white. It makes me feel like I can breathe. I know most psychologists would say it would be the blue. To me, it's not blue. If you look at my closet, probably 70% of my clothes are white. I could wear it all year long. So to me, white is pure, but it's also powerful. It's fresh. It's allowing me to just be peaceful, open up, take a deep breath, dust off anything that maybe didn't work, and start fresh. So
thank you for sharing your canvas, your white canvas of beautiful, colorful designs with us today. And I notice, even though you're wearing white, you do have pink nails, and you have red lipstick. So it's nice for those to pop, which is just like in life, right? How we want to have certain aspects of ourselves pop out and show confidence and assertiveness and resilience.
I feel the lipstick and the nails are a good way of pick me up whenever we have a bad mood. And we went through a lot lately, and then rioting, and then tornado, and I felt, why not? Why not pink?
Of course. Well, thank you for sharing your favorite things. If you or someone you know is suffering from domestic abuse and needs help, please reach out. There is the Office of Women's Health. The number is 1-800-994-9662, or please reach out to a friend or a neighbor or even us at gratefulgoddesses.com so you can get help. Thank you.
Unleashed your inner goddess yet? Thanks for joining us today on Grateful Goddesses. We invite you to visit our website, www.gratefulgoddesses.com, to access today's show notes as well as other helpful resources. Don't forget to leave a review. Until next time, stay strong and empowered to be a grateful goddess.